Okay, guys, today we need to talk about this skin right here. This is the Glock 18 Candy Apple, and it has absolutely been going insane in price recently, and honestly, I think it is still, it has a chance of being a pretty good investment, not only now, but also going forward into the future. But also, I thought it was really interesting and really funny because, as oftentimes the case with many topics, but especially with CS2 skin investing, Reddit had some ideas of why this skin's going up, and I think they're a little bit off the mark. So in this video today, I'm going to be talking about what they think, why this thing's actually going up, and maybe some of the other skins you might want to consider investing into as well. But first, before we get into that, I just want to mention real quick my cash trading business. If you guys are looking to sell any of your CS2 skins, turn them into cold hard cash, crypto, or any other payment method, hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. I like to buy anything and everything for the right price, but of course, you guys already know we like to get the big deals done. So if you have any expensive skins, knives, gloves, bulk cases, maybe you want to sell your entire inventory all at once, whatever, I can help you get cashed out safely, effectively, and efficiently. And by selling to me, of course, you're helping support me, my channel, my content, so we can do more cool videos just like this one here on this channel, and maybe even do some crazier, more expensive stuff in the future. With that being said, let's get right into this today. So I woke up, I was kind of randomly scrolling through Reddit. For some reason, I think I am still subscribed to CSGO Market Forum. Don't even get me started about them. I think they're a terrible resource. I think they usually have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, but every once in a while, topic comes up that maybe I can talk about, maybe I can make a video about, maybe I can get educated a little bit, but oftentimes they're going to be steering you in the wrong direction. I would stay just far away from them. They're toxic, they're weird, don't usually know what they're talking about, whatever. But the point here being, all candy apple skins suddenly started increasing in price like crazy. Why? And this person says, hey, does anyone have any idea of this? It's so strange. Glock 18 candy apple is now $4 on Steam. Nova candy apple, PB Bison candy apple, Mac 10 candy apple have increased too, but not as much. This has been happening since the last 2 days. It's so weird, guys. Please explain. And down here, somebody says, not sure about all, but the collection, which includes the Glock Candy Apple, got removed April 1st of this year. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But then this guy says, yes, I already know about that, but the removal of the Italy collection was over a month ago, and prices have stayed somewhat stable. Just not true, but again, we'll look into that. This is something that's randomly happening now, but someone already answered me. He said Donk is using it. Thank you for answering, though. So even though this guy gets some good information about, hey, this recently got removed like a month or 2 months ago, and that's why it's been skyrocketing price, he goes, nah, it's okay. Somebody already told me Donk used it. That's a reasonable explanation. And, it is true. We can go to CS2proskin.com. It gives kind of the loadouts of all the different pro players, stuff like that. It's a pretty cool resource. Again, I don't necessarily love the pro scene as much as some other people, but if you're into what skins pros are using and tracking all that different stuff, it's cool. It can maybe show you some trends in the markets or things that could be popping up or whatever. We can go to Donk's loadout and see that he was using the Glock 18 candy apple at this major, and yes, this major had insane viewership, and the Spirit Mao series that took place yesterday had even more insane viewership, a quadruple overtime map, a 3-game set, all the amazing things. Donk, one of the best players in the world. Now, I know that historically in the past we have seen certain spikes and certain surges surrounding certain item prices when a player like Simple or Kenny S or whatever uses a certain item or a certain skin or a certain loadout or a certain combination, but I honestly think these things like this and price spikes like this are maybe not as pronounced as they used to be. I think we're kind of past that. I think, the market has grown so much. The market has matured so much. I don't think we're going to necessarily see as crazy swings with stuff like that as we once used to. Now, maybe every once in a while we'll see some crazy new, loadout or knife and glove combination that maybe people are underrating or something like that. But do I really think Donk is going to be making the Glock Candy Apple cool? I really don't buy that. I really don't believe that. Either way, I wouldn't really care because that's not a good long-term investment thesis. That's something that's going to maybe go up for a couple days, couple weeks, couple months. But if the only reason you bought something was because you thought Donk was making it look cool for like one day or one game or one major or whatever, the prices are going to come back down. But again, could Donk using the Glock 18 candy apple, could that have made the price appreciate a little tiny bit? Yeah, I'm sure it could have. I'm sure that helped this whole situation. But to me, the very, very clear thing here, and we'll dive into this in a second, why this has kind of gone straight up. Again, we are up 197% in the last 6 weeks is obviously, like the first person on Reddit said, because the Italy collection was removed from the active drops on April 1st or March 31st or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know why this guy is saying these prices have been stable because, again, it was removed back here on March 31st where it was $1.13, and it has pretty much just been consistently going up since then. There's really no kind of stable price points. Maybe here for from May 20th to like maybe a week or two of kind of stability, but things can't go straight up. There's going to be times of going to the side, whatever. But this graph is pretty stable uptrend for the past 6 weeks. And The other thing here, and why, again, why I'm kind of guessing it has not much or maybe anything at all to do with Donk, is the fact that we can look at all these other removed skins. Again, so many of the other skins that I've been talking about in a couple other videos already, something like the Mac 10 Silver. Again, it also has this graph where it's been going crazy as of late, but again, over the past 6 weeks, this thing is up 189%. This is part of the bank collection, another one of those collections that was removed. We have the Mac 10 Candy Apple, like they said, from the train collection that was removed. This thing is up 468%. Absolutely insane in the past 6 weeks. And again, Donk used the Glock 18 Candy Apple, and we're saying because Donk used the Glock 18 Candy Apple, that made the Mac 10 Candy Apple go insane. That doesn't really make sense to me. That doesn't really sit right. Again, we have the Op Safari mesh. This is one that I have purchased. I think I own like 500 Op Safari meshes, something like that. This is from the late collection. This thing's up 395% in that time frame. We have the Desert Eagle Urban Rubble. This is from the train collection. This one's up 133% in that time frame. The Nova Candy Apple, I know they already hinted at that a little bit, but 282% gains in that time frame since March 31st, April 1st, whatever. Emerald Pinstripe, this is part of the bank collection. This one's a little bit more expensive. It hasn't seen as crazy of gains, 24% spike, but still pretty decent, not bad. 24% in 6 weeks. That's, an investment that most people in the world would accept. We have the Desert Eagle Meteorite. This is part of the bank collection as well, up 96% in that time frame. USPS Night Ops up 142% in the past 6 weeks, and then we have the Desert Eagle Mutter up 124%. So again, it's not like the Glock 18 Candy Apple is the only skin that has been going crazy recently or in the past 6 weeks ever since this change happened. And yes, I know a lot of people, when this thing first came out, when these skins were first removed from the active duty, a lot of people were skeptical, and myself included, were skeptical of how good of an investment these were going to be, because so many of these skins have hundreds of thousands, if not multiple millions of supply out there. They were in the active duty drops for so long. But again, a lot of these, the ones that I'm highlighting are, the good looking, the more popular of these cheap play skins. There's a ton of skins in like the train collection, the bank collection, whatever, that are absolute trash, that are 3 cents, 4 cents, 5 cents with millions of supply that I don't really think are going to be going anywhere. But these are the good looking ones. These are the attractive ones that actually have genuine demand and value and stuff. Now, again, a lot of those millions or whatever amount of skins are maybe lost to time. Some of them have been used in trade ups. Some of them will continue to be used in trade ups, and some of them are just going to continue to have genuine demand, and people are going to want them. As the CS2 player base grows, there's going to be more and more people looking for cheap play skins. There's going to be more new players that are looking to buy their first skin ever, or stuff like that. And we're going to have the demand, hopefully increasing over time, and the player base increasing over time. But the supply of these is going to be stabilizing, if not going down, like I said, because of trade ups or because of skins being lost to time or banned accounts or all that stuff. So yes, obviously you would have loved to get into these investments around the beginning of April because they've seen nice price appreciation since then, but I still think these have plenty of room to run. We've seen crazy gains on these things so far, but I think the fundamentals actually make a lot of sense here. I think these are really nice. Again, it's not necessarily, you're not buying in the lows or anything like that, but again, this has only been 6 weeks of these things being removed from the active duty, and there will definitely be ups and downs. We could see prices, dip back down. I was buying a lot of Op Safari meshes at 12 cents in field tested right at the beginning, and then I went a couple weeks of not being able to get those orders filled. Then I started, getting more of those orders filled over the past couple weeks. The prices will definitely go up and down, but honestly, I still like a lot of these investments, and I wouldn't mind, buying Mac 10 Silver even at these current prices. I wouldn't mind, even still buying Op Safari meshes at these prices. I wouldn't mind buying the Nova Candy Apple at these prices. Desert Eagle Meteorite, USP Night Ops. I still think some really good deals out there because a lot of these skins are still very cheap. And again, these are the ones that have shown demand and the ability to overcome the insane supply out there. Yes, supply is a huge part of investing. It's a huge part of fundamentals. You don't want something that's oversaturated. You don't want something that's oversupplied. You don't want something that's overinvested in or whatever. But these ones truly have a ton of demand. And now the fact that they're not going to be dropping anymore, I think is a good sign for the long term. Now, are these necessarily my favorite investment in the world right now? No, not really. But I do think they are overall pretty low risk with pretty high upside. I think these could go on a pretty crazy run over the next couple of years. So I'm going to continue to keep my eye on them. Like I said, I own like 500 Op Safari meshes, something like that. I wish I would have bought some more of these other skins, but I was a little bit skeptical, but now I'm starting to understand more and more and seeing the strength and the growth and the kind of demand and the price appreciation potential behind these things. So yes, Donk did use the Glock 18 Candy Apple. Yeah, I'm sure that helped the price go up a little bit, but in general, a lot of these good looking cheap play skins that were removed from the active duty drops a couple of weeks ago, they've all been seeing very crazy price spikes. If you got in at at the beginning of April. You've been doing quite well, but I also don't think you've missed a boat just yet. I don't think it's too late. We'll have to see what happens from here. I'm definitely, like I said, going to keep my eye on these things going forward into the future, and I'm invested in this a little bit myself, and will probably buy a little bit more, but I don't know. I still love buying cases, and I want to save as much money as I can for those. But that is pretty much your review today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.